Hello, today we will be learning about how to operate the hydrogen sniffer. The hydrogen sniffer is a combination of the Inficon hydrogen leak detector sensistor ISH2000 and the Cincinnati TracerMate CS connected to a vacuum pump. The sniffer fills the unit up with the gas at a specific PSI and then, using the testing probe, checks for any leaks from valves or fittings and displays the results on the screen. It is important to test these units prior to shipping because it is better to find a defective part now and pull it from the production line, retest, rework, or scrap it, than have one make it to the customer and have to fix that defective product after it has been shipped. So first, let's go over how to set up the hydrogen sniffer. Turn on the power to the system using the power strip attached to the back. Allow the machine to warm up for 2 minutes. Verify the following settings are correct for the ISH2000. Make sure the detection mode is set to combined. If it is not, press the menu button, then press Change Test Mode. Scroll until you reach combined and set the mode. Make sure the reject level is set to 1.00E minus 0.5 cubic centimeters per second. Contact your supervisor or lead to have manufacturing engineering change this if needed. Set the sensitivity level to 10. To adjust the sensitivity, press the sensitivity button, then set it using the plus or minus buttons. This tester uses a harmless tracer gas consisting of 95% nitrogen and 5% hydrogen, but be cautious when transporting or working around the gas tank, as compressed gas can still be dangerous. Turn on the gas supply by opening the valve on the tank attached to the unit. Verify the pressure is 140 plus or minus 10 psi. If it is not, notify your supervisor or lead and they will get you a new one. For the TracerMate CS, make sure the hydrogen tracer gas hose is connected and turned on. Verify the pilot air hose is connected to shop nitrogen and set to 100 plus or minus 10 psi. If any of these pressures are incorrect, notify your supervisor or lead and they will contact the proper personnel to fix the issue. The vacuum pump part of the system must have a line connecting it to the TracerMate. The pump must be turned on and running, and the exhaust line must be routed at least 10 feet away from the testing area. This is so the exhaust gas won't tamper with the test results. The ISH2000 uses a reference leak value to calibrate in order to get the correct leak value for proper test results. This calibration must be performed on a daily basis. To calibrate the ISH2000, you must gather a reference leak instrument from your supervisor or lead, or get one from manufacturing engineering. Verify the reference leak is pressurized to within the green area on the gauge. If it is not, you must get one that is before proceeding. Start the calibration by pressing the calibration button on the menu. Then press Start, then Enter. Follow the prompts on the screen, exposing the probe to the spot in the reference leak instrument until the calibration is complete. You may have to repeat this process a couple of times before pressing Save to complete the calibration once the Calibration OK message appears on the screen. The TracerMate must also be self-tested at the beginning of every week and must be auto-calibrated to the unit you are making every day or before starting a new run. To self-test the TracerMate, make sure the machine is on and replace the testing hose with the self-test plug on the front of the machine. Select the program indicated on the method sheet using the plus or minus buttons. Adjust the gas pressure by pressing the menu button. Then, using the arrows and OK button on the panel, select Channel Config, then Set/Span. Then scroll down to Set Pressure Regulator and hit OK. Change the input to Yes, then press Enter again. Turn the large knob on the back of the TracerMate to the pressure required for the program you are using. For now, stick with 120 psi. 120 psi is the default for cores and tube assemblies using this machine. Return to the main menu screen when finished. Now we can run the self-test by pressing the menu button, selecting Channel Config, and then the self-test button after that. Scroll down and change the input on the Start Self-Test line to Yes and press Enter. Double-check the self-test plug is inserted, then press Enter again or Start. If the test is a success, replace the self-test hose with the original testing hose and record the self-test on the log sheet kept with the machine. If the test is a failure, verify your connections and pressures are correct, then retest. If the self-test fails again, ask your supervisor or lead to assist you. In addition to the daily self-test, the tracer mate must be auto-calibrated for the unit you are working on at the beginning of work every day, whenever you are starting a new run, or working on any part different from the one the tracer mate has been auto-calibrated for. Check to make sure the pressure is set correctly according to the corresponding method sheet or blueprint for that part. Start by connecting a known good part to the instrument. Press the menu button and scroll left to the Program Cal button and hit Enter to begin the test. The tracer mate will indicate whether the part has passed the test or not. If a known good part does not pass, check the condition of the O-rings on the connections. Make sure the connections are secure and re-auto-calibrate. Ask your supervisor or lead for help if the auto-cal still does not pass. Once the calibration has been completed, continue with the normal operating procedure. Let's pause and review the machine setup at this time. Is the machine powered on? Is the hydrogen gas pressure 140 plus or minus 10 psi and the pilot air hose connected to the shop nitrogen at 100 plus or minus 10 psi? The exhaust hose must be at least 10 feet away from the testing area and make sure to calibrate the testers. When you are ready, move on to the next section. Now, let's go over the normal operating procedure for the hydrogen sniffer. Start by having the ISH 2000, the tracer mate CS, and vacuum pump all turned on, and verify the settings from the machine setup section are correct. Connect the part to be tested to the machine using the correct clamp for that unit. Press the green Start button. The tracer mate will evacuate the part of air, then test the vacuum of air. Once the vacuum is stable, the part is filled with the tracer gas, and that pressure is stabilized. When these phases are complete, the LED light ring on the tracer mate will flash white, indicating the tester is ready to sniff the part. Take the test probe for the ISH 2000 and place it in contact with the joint specified on the method sheet. Hold the probe in place for at least 2 seconds and slowly move the probe around the joints. Pay special attention to the joints around the expansion valve and their O-rings, any gasket seals, or other joints shown by the method sheet. You'll see the detection bar on the ISH 2000 move if any leak is present. If the probe doesn't detect a leak, the bar on the ISH 2000 will remain at 0 and the part contains no leaks. Press Start again to complete the test and evacuate the part of any remaining tracer gas. The tracer mate's light will turn green and a green accept message will be displayed, verifying the part has no leaks. Refer to the following troubleshooting section for more information on what to do when a leak is detected and other common faults that occur during the testing process. When you are done testing, don't forget to turn off all power to the machine. As a reminder, the gas will continue to flow through the test regulator even though the power is off, so when you are done working, remember to turn off the tracer gas by closing the valve on top of the tank. In review, the normal operation procedure for the hydrogen sniffer is very simple. The operator connects the part, begins the test, waits for the sniffer probe to be ready and recognizes different joints to check during sniffing, and knows whether the part passes or not. The leak testers are very accurate but equally sensitive test instruments. If a leak is detected, the light ring on the tracer mate and the ISH 2000 probe will flash red and show a reject message on the screen, and an alarm will sound. Follow this procedure for troubleshooting a failed test. When troubleshooting a part after a failed test, first make sure the area is clear of any ambient hydrogen tracer gas. Remove the probe from the part and wait for the reading to go back to 0. Spray some compressed nitrogen or shop air to clear the area if needed. Once the area is clear, try retesting the part. If the part fails the test again, try to locate the leak using the probe. The alarm will get louder and the bar will increase when you get closer to the location of the leak. Adjust the sensitivity on the machine depending on how close you want to locate the leak. Decrease the sensitivity so you can get closer to where the leak is originating from, but return it back to 10 for normal testing. Check all O-rings on the expansion valve and replace them if damaged and retest. If the part still fails, look for any holes in the evaporator or condenser. Feel for any escaping air if the part is still pressurized. Place the unit to the side and notify your supervisor or lead of the issue, and move on to another unit. If the error is a common one, the machine will display an error message indicating what went wrong, so try to fix those issues first. Also, a part may or may not pass the leak test portion of the sniffer test because of the environment you are testing in, so ensure there is no excessive air movement near the test part. This includes movement like cold breezes from open doors, heaters, fans, or air conditioners blowing air on parts, or air tool exhaust. Even heat from the operator's hand can cause the part to fail. Avoid touching or bumping the testing hose during the test. Placing a cover over the unit can also help if there is too much air movement. If you see a severe leak message, check the fittings and part for any large, noticeable leaks. Ensure the gas is turned on and the tank is not empty, and verify the pressure regulator is set to the proper pressure for that test, and you will be all set. Overall, to troubleshoot a leak, check for any loose connections, fittings, or damaged O-rings. Know that you can adjust the sensitivity to locate a leak, and be aware that the environment you are testing in can affect the test results. Before we're done, let's go over some evaluation criteria on operating the hydrogen sniffer. Number 1. The operator is able to properly set up the machine prior to operation, so the operator knows how to turn the machine on and verify the settings outlined in the setup section. Number 2. The operator can successfully calibrate and operate the testers according to the instructions above. To do this, the operator will have to know how to calibrate the ISH 2000 daily with the reference leak, self-test the tracer mate weekly, and auto-calibrate the tracer mate for new parts. And number 3. The operator is able to troubleshoot common faults that happen during testing. This means the operator knows how to locate leaks with the sniffer probe, knows to check for damage to the O-rings or core, and recognizes the effect the environment can have on the leak test. That's all you need to know about operating the hydrogen sniffer. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your supervisor or coworkers for guidance, and thank you for your contribution toward making Red Dot a better company.